Good morning. Welcome to our May Shotsuki Hoyo for 2022. We begin service with ringing of Kancho, followed by Reverend Mukojima offering an aspiration and reading the Shotsuki Honorees' names. Then Sensei will lead us in sutra chanting of Sanbutsuge. Then the Dharma School 4th grade class will lead us in recitation of the loving kindness meditation. Then Reverend Mukojima will share his Dharma message, and then we'll close our service. Thank you for joining us today.
Namanda, Butsamanda, 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 Namanda, Namanda. Today, on this occasion of the Mountain View Buddhist Temple's May Shotsuki Memorial Service, we come before the image of Amida Buddha to express our sincere respect for and gratitude to the Shotsuki Honorees. As I read the Shotsuki names, please join me in silent meditation so that we may think deeply on their continuing influence on our lives. Robert Ariyama, Naka Shikasue, Reverend Philip Eidman, Judy Flusho, Ruth Goto, Levan Gray, Isano Hamada, Gary Hirotsu, Hironori Honda, Dr. Yuta Hongo, Kei Ikeue, Robert Imai, Nancy Ishii, Ishino Ishikawa, Obukichi Ishikawa, Caroline Izumi, Tomoyuki Kanzaki, Yasuko Kariya, Joe Kawaguchi, Makoto Kawaguchi, Shigeko Kawamoto, Kiyono Kawano, Hideo Kumamaru, Jun Kusumoto, Roy Matsumoto, Edward Morimoto, Hana Nagao, Charles Nagatoishi, Minako Nakamoto, Kulak Nakamura, Yoshito Nakamura, Harry Nakano, Naoko Nakashima, Jun Naritomi, Chiharu Nishimura, Herbert Nishimura, Hajime Ogata, Omoyo Ogino, Yoshihiro Okasaki, Iko Oku, Leonard Oku, John Okumura, Joe Okuno, Chizuo Sakai, Koji Sakai, George Sato, Shigemi Sato, Betty Shidawara, Frank Shimizu, Mei Shimoguchi, Kazuko Springer, Aiko Taniguchi, Mitsue Togashi, Fusako Tokuda, Sumie Tomota, Lucia Town, George Tsukagawa, Seiko Tsumura, Sumi Ueda, Alaric Uehara, Torao Watanabe, John Whitruzi, Peggy Yamaguchi, Francis Yamaji, John Yamaji. Please put your hands together in gasho to show our deepest feelings of gratitude to these deceased family and friends who have brought us together today to encounter the Buddha Dharma. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu Namanda Butsu Namanda Butsu Namanda Butsu Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu 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 Namanda. Go
Loving kindness meditation.
May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulty come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulty come to me. May I live in peace and harmony.
May my family be happy and well. May no harm or difficulty come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my teachers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulty come to them. May they live in peace and harmony.
May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulty come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May strangers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulty come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my enemies be happy and well. May no harm or difficulty come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulty come to them. May they live in peace and harmony.
Please join me in English. Namo Amida Butsu.
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 Namo
Namo Amida
Amida Butsu.
Butsu.
Since I'm absolutely incapable of any religious practice, hell is my only home. Namanda, 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 Namanda. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us online for our May Shotsuki Memorial Service this morning. I trust that everyone is staying healthy. May is a special month for Jodo Shinshu Buddhists because it is the month our founder Shinra was born. On the third Sunday in May, we'll observe Go Tanye, which is the birthday service for Shinra. So I hope that you will join us and participate in this special service to celebrate his birthday together. Okay, let me ask you a question. What for you is the most terrifying thing in the world? I bet some of you might say a ghost or a snake or things like that. Each of us has one thing that we really don't like, right? In Japan, there is an old saying that there are four major things to fear: earthquake, thunder, fire, and father. I think that you can agree with the terror of earthquakes and fire. California has the ideal conditions of low humidity, high temperature, and strong winds, which can create terrible wildfires. Because of this, almost every year, destructive wildfires break out, which not only destroy homes, but also claim people's lives. Fortunately, earthquakes are rare in our region. But since last March, there has been a big reconstruction project next to our temple. A few weeks ago, the buildings adjacent to our parsonage were all brought down. Whenever the huge truck dumped the collapsed materials and blocks onto the lot next to ours, our house was shaken terribly. So my wife and I were really worried that our parsonage would be destroyed because of this. Now the situation has gotten better, but those shakeups reminded us of the fearful earthquakes we experienced in Japan several times. Thunder and lightning are relatively rare in California, but even occasional lightning can cause power failures, spark a fire, or even strike and kill someone. Especially for golfers, I think that hearing thunder or seeing lightning is a big cause of fear, right? There is nothing much we can do before the wondrous power of nature. Earthquakes, fire, lightning, and the roar of thunder make everyone fearful because of the devastation they can wreak. And by the way, in introducing the 4 things that Japanese fear the most, did you notice father is mentioned as the last one? How about your father? Is he that kind and gentle? Or is he very strict? When I was little, my dad used to be very, very strict. And I still remember being scolded harshly by him whenever I did something I shouldn't have, and then crying afterwards. However, these days, he is so patient and gentle with his grandkids that it's really hard for me to imagine how stern and unapproachable he was when I was a child. I was mischievous in my youth, and my dad scolded me again and again. His words made a strong impression on me. But one of the things he once said when I had told a lie was, "If you tell a lie, your tongue will be pulled out by Emma." This is the very common phrase that anyone raised in Japan will recognize. These words will strike sheer terror in any kid, and it certainly impressed in me that telling a lie is a very serious misdeed. Emma is a transliteration of the Sanskrit word yama. In Japan, Emma is well known as a king of hell who appears in a famous scroll painting which depicts the world of hell. After a person dies, Emma judges whether the person has been good or bad, and then judges whether his soul goes to heaven or hell. Emma also selects from different kinds of dreadful punishments. In this Japanese painting, the demons are punishing most cruelly the people who have fallen into hell. The horrifying look of anger on Emma's face is indescribable. Though the painting is merely showing us those suffering in hell, it is so cruel that most kids cannot help but turn their eyes away from it. I still remember that whenever I saw it as a child, I was not able to fall asleep at night. Buddhism also teaches us about hell's existence. People in ancient times tried to take the precaution of doing good deeds because of their fear of hell. But it seems today people have a problem with the concept and have a tendency to deny that hell even exists. There are some who believe that hell is just an idle threat to prevent them from bad behavior. So today, I'd like to talk a little about how we should regard the concept of hell. In the opening meditation, I share the famous phrase by our founder Shinran from the book of Tanisho, which goes, "Since I'm absolutely incapable of any religious practice, hell is my only home." I think that many of you might be surprised at his words, because the founders of other religious groups have never said anything like it. Shinran always looked deep into himself because he was a person gifted with humility and honesty. And his sincere self-reflection led him to realize that hell existed in his mind, which was completely confused by his self-centered thoughts and arrogance. If we think about hell outside the context of meaning, it is just a picture. But Shinran was always aware that hell existed in his mind. However, although we listen to the Nimbus teaching, we still tend to deny the possibility of hell in ourselves and really believe that we don't have any demons in our mind. Needless to say, in order to live, we have to take the lives of other beings. Just think about what people around us are doing. We may explain them by saying, everyone is doing this. We have to survive, so it cannot be helped. But when we put ourselves in the position of those we've killed, we just cannot justify it. The countless creatures which humans have killed over the centuries for our own benefit, as a source of our food, or as material for products we use like medications and cosmetics, surely harbor an endless resentment against humankind. If we argue that everyone is doing the same thing, even murder during wartime can be justified. In battle, a person who has killed another will be decorated and honored by the nation. However, the reasoning will never be acceptable to those whose lives were taken. Unfortunately, the Ukraine crisis is still going on. Since Russia has invaded Ukraine, it's been really hard to witness and endure the Ukrainian people grieving at the sudden loss of their beloved ones and their peaceful daily life. We can hardly imagine their horror at the destruction of their beautiful homeland. Public buildings, private facilities, and residential areas alike are being destroyed, and innocent blood is being shed as we speak. The terrifying sight of their deaths and the burning and collapsing the buildings is quite like hell itself. We also face a growing nuclear crisis because of the runaway actions of Russia. How could something like this happen? I believe that most of you cannot help but admit humans' evil nature, which can destroy life without mercy or compassion. And it is not only about taking others' lives. In our everyday world, when we realize that we cannot live without hurting others' feelings. There is nowhere else we can end up but in hell. Hell exists in our actions. We create our own hell. When we come to realize this truth, Shinran's words, "Hell is my only home," echo in our minds again. Through the Nembutsu teaching, Shinran always lamented the possibility of hell in himself. When we look in the Nembutsu mirror, we become fully aware of our ugly and arrogant mindset, which is not much different from that of someone who lives in hell. Unfortunately, we foolish beings are selfish, and we really don't know that what we would do if faced with terrible causes and conditions. We are always confused by gas, greed, anger, and stupidity, and the lack of better judgment, because we only see the world through our own merits or demerits. The more we are aware of our own selfishness, the more we realize that we are shamed and terrible. Now you can understand why Shinran always looked deeply at his own imperfection and declared, "Hell is my only home." We are following the Nembutsu teaching, so we should also accept the existence of hell, just as Shinran did. The Nembutsu teaching doesn't say that hell exists after one's death. It is the teaching of wisdom which tells us not to create hell in this world. It is so hard to shed our own arrogance. But by listening to the Nembutsu teaching repeatedly, Amida Buddha's light of wisdom helps us recognize our own true selves. Then we'll be able to feel shame and self-reproach. The world which will be created from this realization is the Pure Land, filled with compassion, loving kindness, generosity, and consideration. So it is my hope that we'll become sincere and humble Nembutsu followers, that is, people who are able to feel and self-reproach, who recognize our shortcomings and mistakes, and who are able to apologize to one another. Let's try to realize the Pure Land, which is a world, a community, and a family, living in peace and harmony, rejoicing in the light of wisdom. The Nembutsu teaching always points to the truth as our spiritual guidance. Okay? In conclusion, let's once again call for an immediate end to the Ukraine crisis so that peaceful life can be returned to the Ukrainian people as soon as possible. Again, thank you very much for your kind attention to my Dharma talk this morning. Please continue to stay healthy and have a great day. Please join me in Gassho. Since I am absolutely incapable of any religious practice, hell is my only home. Namanda, Vats 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 Namanda, Vats.
Thank you, Sensei, for your Dharma message today. I was able to find a scroll from the Metropolitan Museum of Art's website that depicts the realm of hell with the image of Emna sitting at a table or his desk, ready to pass his judgment on people entering. Hopefully this is similar to the scroll that you had mentioned in your Dharma message about seeing when you were younger. And I think many of us all share the same or similar experiences with our fathers. And I have a feeling that my children may have feel the same experience from me as a father. So thank you again for your Dharma message and reminding us to all look to ourselves and the hell or the evil that we all have within us. For those of you who are watching this video with others on Sunday morning as part of our service watch party, if you stay in the Zoom meeting, we will have a Japanese language service led by Reverend Mukojima in the Zoom main room, and we will have an English language discussion group in a breakout room from the Zoom meeting. Thank you again for viewing our online Shotsuki Hoyo for May 2022. And as always, please stay healthy and stay safe.